is an impression of the past, which prevents us from living in the present. We all have many different fears. The fear of death, illness, a fear of losing money, fear for children, fear of being insulted, the fear of insects, and more. Some fear is needed for us to be cautious and careful. But when fears influence the quality of our life, we really want to get rid of them. Everyone has their own set of fears, and I was no exception. I used to be so scared of mice, regardless of size, that I would become uncontrollable in my behavior when I would see them. Once in the Tretyakov Gallery, I saw a painting of Duchess Tarakanova with mice crawling on her, and I felt as if they were crawling on me, and I immediately fainted, though I had never ever fainted before for any reason. The other time was when I saw a mouse at my workplace which had probably been poisoned. I jumped on a table. My secretary suggested I get down because there were people in the lobby who might walk in and see me like that, but until she removed the dead mouse, I physically couldn't move to get down off the table. I'd been living with this fear till the age of 55. My mother wasn't scared of mice, and throughout her life, I didn't notice her showing any fear at all, in spite of any circumstance. My mother could afford to travel often, and she loved India a lot. She would always speak highly of India, saying that our spiritual brothers and sisters lived there. She even wanted to adopt an Indian boy, and was granted permission to adopt from the local India government, but the Russian government would not allow this adoption. My grandfather, who was honored by Lenin several times, loved to listen to Indian music. Sometimes he would cry while listening. He used to say that the eyes are crying, but the soul is smiling. That's why when I found out a teacher from India was coming to Baikal to teach stress-relieving programs, I took time off and went there to meet him. That teacher's name was Nitin, and he was a disciple of Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, whom I had never heard of before. Nitin spent several days with us, and during one of the sessions, he said that when we are afraid of something, that we become that fear, or imbibe the qualities of what we are afraid of. He gave an example of a cat and a mouse. My blood immediately ran cold, and with a trembling voice I asked, "Nitin, what should I do? Mice are exactly what I'm scared of." He replied, "Promise me that you'll do what I'll tell you, and after that, your fear of mice will be gone." He said my task was to do the following. The next time I see a mouse, I should grab it by the tail and throw it far away. That's it. I joyfully agreed, but in my mind I was thinking, how can I do that? Will a mouse just run up to me, give me its tail? And that's how I do this. Coming back home, I cheerfully shared this recipe for how to get rid of a mouse with my mother. I said, "What do you think?" Well, no longer after I told my mother this, there was a mouse in our house. After finishing yoga and meditation, one morning I opened my eyes and I saw a mouse sitting right in front of me, looking right back at me. I started to scream, ran out of the room and into the bathroom, but the mouse followed me. My mother tried to calm me down, saying I was stressed out and overworked since nobody but me saw that mouse. I urgently decided to get a cat. We got a cat, and the mouse disappeared, and I relaxed. One day I come home from work, and my mother said, "It's time for you to fulfill your promise. Here, in the corner, you can see a mouse. The cat caught it. Now take it by the tail and throw it far out of the open window." Oh my God! While I was carrying that still-moving mouse in my hands, I was just streaming with sweat. I've never experienced such fear in all my life. But when the next day came, some screaming boys showed me another mouse, I wasn't afraid, and I didn't even move an inch. They were surprised and asking, "Are you not scared?" I said, "Not anymore after yesterday. I'm no longer scared." It's difficult, really difficult to get rid of fears and botherations on our own, which are preventing us from living fully. So how can we get rid of them, if it's not possible to do this on our own? Sri Sri Ravi Shankar teaches us that wisdom and grace can help us. When we have a teacher in our life, especially one like Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, we can consider ourselves really very lucky, as we can conquer any fear that comes our way with the help of his wisdom and grace.